Number 20. Herman Schultz, aka Shocker. Self-taught, Schultz invented a pair of gauntlets that shoot streams of compressed air at his opponents, effectively punching them with powerful shockwaves. What sets Shocker apart from the majority of Spidey's villains is that he doesn't have a personal vendetta against the hero.
I reckon that came as a bit of a shocker, eh, Bug? Well, good. So will this.
He's much more concerned with profiting off of his criminal efforts. Would he prefer if Spider-Man just left him to his own devices? Sure, but just don't expect to see him orchestrating any grand schemes. However, Shocker is also concerned with bolstering his image, which could be why he always seems down to team up with other villains to take down Spider-Man.
Here. Now you're the Shocker. Go out there and find that weapon he lost.
Number 19. Hobart Hobie Brown, aka Prowler. Brown initially worked as a window washer, but when he lost his job, he decided that crime would pay. He fashioned a costume and some gadgetry, taking on the identity of Prowler. He was caught, however, by Spider-Man during an attempted robbery. When Spidey realized that Brown was just a misguided kid, he was able to convince Brown to change his ways.
What now? I'm not sure. I know what I'm not going to do, though. I'm never getting myself into this kind of trap again. The only power that means anything to me now is my own power over myself, my life, and the choices I make.
He would go on to become a pivotal ally to the web-slinger, often posing as Spider-Man when Peter Parker needed to be in two places at once. Some may be more familiar with the Aaron Davis version of the character depicted in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, who, as Miles Morales' uncle, chooses to protect his nephew over the wants of Kingpin.
Prowler, what are you waiting for? Finish it.
Number 18. Mr. Negative. A relatively recent addition to Spider-Man's gallery of rogues, Mr. Negative is certainly a sight to behold. Having an inverted color appearance, he is imbued with both Dark Force and Light Force, giving him a positive persona, Martin Lee, and a negative one, Mr. Negative. As Lee, he acts as a benevolent force in the community by helping the homeless with his feast project.
5 years ago, you walked in here and told me you were inspired by my mission to help others. Now it's you who inspires me.
As Mr. Negative, he is the gang leader of the Inner Demons, attempting to control New York's criminal underworld. He can corrupt those he touches, and was able to do so to Spidey, but he was able to break free. Add in his super strength and speed, and you do not want to end up on his bad side.
I told you, I'm sorry. It was an accident. I was trying to help.
I can't take it anymore.
You don't help people. You use them.
Number 17. Miles Warren, aka the Jackal. A brilliant geneticist and biochemist, Miles Warren was introduced as a professor to both Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy while they attended Empire State University.
Parker's path crossed with a brilliant scientist, an expert in genetic cloning. His name was Miles Warren.
His unhealthy obsession with Spider-Man's love led to ruin, as he sought revenge when she died. Adopting a green suit, he trained up on martial arts to take on Spidey, thinking he was responsible for Stacy's death. He spent many years battling the web-slinger and eventually learned of Peter's identity. Coupled with his penchant for creating clones, this led to perhaps his most evil act of all, burdening us with having to read through the much-maligned Clone Saga story arc.
Oh, I despise you! And for that reason, you must be obliterated. You see, I really hate clones.
Number 16. Michael Morbius, aka Morbius the Living Vampire. Another brilliant mind to add to this list, Dr. Michael Morbius is a genius biochemist by day and a pseudo-vampire by night.
Back off! What do you think you're up to, creep? Leave me alone! Stay away!
To say that he is a villain may be a little unfair to Morbius, as his proclivity for violence is a little out of his hands, and his vampiric abilities are the result of a failed experiment to cure his debilitating blood disease.
What did you do to yourself, Doctor?
I wish I knew.
Morbius originally began as an enemy of both Blade and Spider-Man, but would become an anti-hero in his own right, though his vampiric bloodlust sometimes puts him on the bad side again.
Morbius! Stop giving in to this bloodlust! You have to, or I can't help you!
Number 15. Dmitry Smerdyakov, aka the Chameleon. Able to do much more than blend into a background, Smerdyakov is the ultimate master of disguise.
This is the Chameleon, a deadly, stop-at-nothing hitman. He can transform himself into a carbon copy of any person whose image he can grab with this.
Initially a skilled manipulator of makeup and costuming, recent interpretations of the character have him literally change his face to suit his plans. The Chameleon happens to be the first supervillain Spider-Man takes on, and is later revealed to be the half-brother of Kraven the Hunter. Given that Smerdyakov can literally pose as anyone, you'll never know when he'll pop up once again to try to take down Spidey.
Chameleon, stop! Whoa, nice haircut.
Number 14. McDonald Mac Gargan, aka Scorpion. A lot of Spider-Man's major villains seem to be animalistic or based on insect properties, and Mac Gargan is no exception. Gargan was a small-time private investigator who was tasked by J. Jonah Jameson with finding out how Peter Parker got such good shots of his alter ego Spider-Man.
Parker must know Spider-Man. That has to be how he gets those photos. How hard can it be to follow him to Spider-Man's hideout?
Unfortunately for Gargan, Jameson went too far with his pursuits and pushed for an experimental procedure to fuse him with the abilities of a scorpion. Talk about bad luck. Despite his immense strength, agility, and scorpion suit, Spider-Man is able to routinely outsmart and defeat him. Predictably, he has a long-standing hatred of Jameson as well as for Spider-Man.
You! This is your fault! You want me to stay this way so I can destroy Spider-Man!
Number 13. Roderick Kingsley, aka Hobgoblin. Multiple people have taken on the Hobgoblin persona, but Roderick Kingsley is the alter ego most associated with the character, not to be confused with Green Goblin. In fact, Kingsley improved on Norman Osborn's Goblin formula, suit, and equipment.
Sorry, Charlie.
Spider-Man?
But you're a little late for Halloween.
Name's Hobgoblin.
And you're right on time for your funeral.
He's no cosplayer though, as he had built up an incredible criminal empire of his own. Not bad for someone who was previously a fashion designer. Aside from the powers he gained from the Goblin formula, Kingsley can also hypnotize others, usually as a way to keep his identity secret by having others pose as the Hobgoblin.
What a nice surprise! They are smart bombs!
Number 12. Alexei Sitsevich, aka the Rhino. For Sitsevich, Brain is certainly tailing behind Brawn when it comes to his attributes.
Now who's big and tough, huh? Me! The Rhino! That's who!
However, his strength more than makes up for his flaws. Another result of an experiment gone wrong, Sitsevich's skin and strength were enhanced and toughened, making him almost unstoppable when he starts charging. He also has higher durability and speed, giving Spider-Man a real challenge when the Rhino decides to wreak havoc.
It's the itsy bitsy spider, all decked out in his new threads. They ain't gonna look no fun.
Rhino's first horned costume was fused to him, but his second is the result of evil armorer Justin Hammer's handiwork. Eventually, Rhino retires from a life of crime, but his services keep being requested by other villains. Number 11. Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. What happens when a powerful symbiote bonds with an unstable, notorious serial killer?
Cassidy is gone. There is only Carnage!
You get Carnage, both literally and figuratively, when Cassidy becomes one of Spider-Man's deadliest enemies. As Venom's offspring, he is no joke, as when he first burst on the scene, he brings with him death and destruction. Not only is he stronger than Venom and Spider-Man combined, he also has absolutely no qualms about taking the lives of others, as he can shape any part of his body into sharp objects.
Ultimate destruction!
Carnage can also evade Spider-Man's spider sense, and even Venom's detection abilities. The two often have to team up to take down Carnage. This is one villain you do not want to cross paths with.